Hey y'all, what's up? This is Rosie, and I wasn't gonna say anything about any of this stuff at first, but since I am from Alabama, I figure that I should say at least a little bit of something. So, first is the Carlee Russell situation. I did a blog about that, and we'll post the link to it in the description. But when I first heard about it, I was worried. I have two kids who are grown now, but I worry about them often when they go out. And so when I heard that this beautiful young woman was abducted and just taken away when she was trying to help a baby, I got scared. I was like, oh my gosh, and this happened in Hoover, which is one of the safest communities in Birmingham. I mean, it's not very, very safe anymore, but yeah, it's one of the safest areas in our city. So I was like, if this can happen to her, what can happen to my kids when they go out? And then when she was reported to have gotten home safely 2 days later, I breathed a sigh of relief. I was like, okay, good, she's safe, but what about that baby? Because nothing was ever said about a baby. And then whispers started coming out that she may have faked the whole thing and wasn't telling the truth. And at first I was like, okay, let's give her the benefit of the doubt, because anything can happen. This world is crazy, particularly in Birmingham, Alabama. And then it started coming out more and more that she was not telling the truth, and so I started thinking about it more. And I was like, well, if there is a baby wandering on the side of the road, why has no baby been reported missing? Why did no other drivers, because that highway that she was on is a busy highway even at night. And so I was like, well, why wasn't there a baby reported as walking on the side of the road just wandering near traffic? Why has no one else seen that baby? And just question after question. And then I started to get mad. And then I find out that it was fake. She faked the whole freaking thing. And I started feeling like an idiot for being worried about this woman along with everybody else. And it makes you wonder who you can trust anymore. And so, do I think she should be punished? Yeah, I think she should have to pay a fine and maybe spend a month or so in jail. I don't know. But do I think she should be in prison for it? Not for a long time. To do something like that for attention, particularly possibly the attention of her now ex-boyfriend, was a dumb thing to do. There were other things she could have done to gain his attention. And it amazes me what some people will do for the affections of the opposite sex. I heard it said that her boyfriend cheated on her before, and that devastated her, and so she did this to, I guess, maybe test his love for her. I don't know. And he was standing up for her wholeheartedly, requesting that people stop bullying her, let her heal from this, and then she'll tell the police in her own time. And I was all for that. I mean, I can only imagine if you go through something of that magnitude, being abducted and then having to get away. I could only imagine that you would want to heal, and you don't want to talk to anybody, and you just want to be left alone. But I just couldn't imagine doing something like that, telling a lie like that. I mean, like, why? To look up how much it costs to have an Amber Alert put out on you, and then asking if she's too old to have one. Wow. I just couldn't imagine doing something like that just for attention. It's crazy to me. Why not just talk to the dude? Or I don't know, but no guy is worth something like that. And so yeah, I'm pretty pissed about it. I'm very disappointed in her because she put her parents through emotional turmoil when she did that, and it just wasn't worth it in the end because the guy broke up with her anyway. So just as I asked in my blog, Carlee Russell, was it worth it? So yeah, that's what I think about that. And then there's the situation in Montgomery. If you haven't heard about it by now, I suggest you look it up, because I'm not going to talk about, it just, when I heard about it and then I saw portions of the video online, I was hurt because, for one, I'm 47 years old. I just turned 47 in July. And I grew up in the late 70s and all through the 80s, the 90s. And when I was coming up, it seemed like, especially in the 80s, it seemed like things were getting better for us as a people. It seemed like people were just wanting to get along, forget about the past, kind of, get through that and heal as a nation. And we didn't all get to see the atrocities that were still going on for minorities. And so I heard about the thing that happened in Montgomery, and I saw it for myself in the video, and it made me sad that people in Montgomery could be so entitled and so disgusting and just lawless because of who they are, and then treat this man as if he worked for them. He didn't work for them. He worked for the riverboat company, whatever that place was, and he was doing his job. And so it was good to see the police, I guess they watched the video, I'm not sure, but it was good to see the police arresting those that attacked this man, because he was just doing his job. He was doing what he was paid to do. And for two, it happened in Montgomery. For those of you who don't know the full history of Montgomery, you may have to look it up on the internet, but it's like, Rosa Parks and the bus boycott and all of that happened in the 1950s. And, Dr. Martin Luther King, he was a minister at, I guess, Ebenezer Baptist Church is in Montgomery, but I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure. I have to look it up. And it's like, from the 1950s to 2023, it is disgusting, it's sickening, it's horrifying that something like that could still happen in a city with so much civil rights history. And I have to imagine that Rosa Parks and Martin Luther King are rolling over in their graves, because it's like everything they fought for, everything they were marching for, everything they were trying to fight against is being mocked. And I know that when those people did that, none of that was on their minds at all. But it's just almost like, is this irony, So it just hurts to see our nation, not just in Alabama, but all over, just going backwards. Race relations are at an all-time low right now. There are, people who are trying to fight against that and still saying that we all deserve equal rights. We have, excuse me, and when I say we, I mean black people, we do have our allies of all races. And I just don't want to see us go backward, because it's a hard hill to climb. That hill was hard climbed, and it was hard fought. People battled the pressure washers from the fire trucks and everything back in the days. I mean, the dogs that attacked them, getting beaten by police officers. So much happened back in those times, and to see it all just go to crap, it's painful. And I always say this, but when I was coming up, it just seemed like things were getting better, or at least trying to get better. It seemed like we had more opportunities, and like we were just moving up, There's so many black billionaires, and it's like some of them, when they reach that status, they self-sabotage. And I just can't help but wonder why, like Kanye West. And so I know it seems like I'm getting off topic, and I really don't know where I was going with that, but it just seemed like things were getting better for my people. And for a long time now, we're just taking so many steps back. And I'm just wondering, how do we get back on track? How do we get back to where the world is getting better? How do we get back to a stable economy? How do we get back to equal opportunities for all, no matter the race, and for everything to be based on education, personality, trust? How do we get back to that? How does that happen? Because to see something like what happened in Montgomery, it's just really heartrending. You can't imagine. I came up in the 70s. In 76, I was born in 76, and so I didn't come up during the civil rights era. I came up after that, and I could not imagine how people who fought for equal rights for all feels seeing something like that happen. And I was angered by it, and I was glad to see so many black people coming to the aid of that worker, of that guy just doing his job. He did nothing wrong. He was doing what he was supposed to do. He was doing what he gets his checks for. And those others just came in not liking the idea of this man doing his job and doing what he was paid for, and they decided to take violent action against him. So yeah, I was pretty pissed about that. I, as an Alabamian, am not proud of that. I'm disgusted by it, and it's like, over the years, I have always heard people tearing down Alabama, saying how stupid we are, saying how horrible of a place it is, and then you go into the news and you see that they're right. How am I supposed to be proud to be from this area, from this state, when you have people like that, when you have people like Carlee Russell, how are we supposed to be? So yeah, that was originally why I didn't want to say anything. But as an Alabamian, as a native Alabamian, I felt like I should try to say something, at least something, and acknowledge it. But you guys leave your comments and tell me what you think about the whole situation. How did you feel when you heard about Carlee Russell? How did you feel when you heard about the Alabama Brawl? And oh gosh, yeah, I'm stressed out about this. Anyway, I'm gonna go for now, and I thank you guys for wasting time with me. I love you guys very, very much. Like, share, subscribe for more content. I really appreciate it. As always, donations are accepted and appreciated, but not required. If you just want to listen to the videos, that's fine too, and I thank you for doing so. But I'm gonna go, and I hope to see y'all on the next upload. Bye for now.